Hello friends, how are you? I'm your friend Sergio Rios. Well, we will continue with our basic Java course. To fully enter the builders, we will see what an interface is first. We will right click our project to our package. We will give it new. We will give it an interface. We will create another subpackage here called CMPS that represents components, and we will create component of a calculator. Finish. Tell us what a class difference. Okay. Here you put interface. What is an interface? What is it for? We are going to see it with this calculator. We are going to create here functions that we are going to put inside this calculator, which is a calculator. What are the basic functions? Because the sum receives parameters. We are going to put it to add two numbers. One, it will also add another number that we have given. Let's see, in the interface I will only declare functions, but I want to create their implementations of those bound functions. That in an interface only serves me to declare the functions of the functions, the definitions of the functions. Okay. The same rules follow to create a type access modifier interface. In this case, it is an interface and the name. In the function declaration is the same access modifier. In this case, as we did not remind you that Java sets default. Okay, automatically. It is neither protected nor private nor public. It is not default automatically. Access modifier is default in this function. The return type of this function is floated. The name of the function is sum and receives two parameters of type float. One is called num1 and the other one is called num2. And we will define our basic operations of a calculator, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay. This is an interface. We will only define the functions that we have to implement elsewhere. Okay. And we will create the implementation of this interface right here. We'll create now a class. Okay, and it is going to be called in MPL only to know what the implementation should be called different. There can be no classes that are written with the same name. That is not allowed in Java. IMPL calculator, we are going to use here a Java reserved word called implement. Java has many reserved words. One of them is package, public, class, implement, extends, interface, etc. Other types are Java reserved words, etc. Okay? Implements, and we're going to tell it that it's going to make a calculator implementation. Here it automatically sends us a grunk. Says multiple the IMPL type calculator must implement the class of the abstract method called some calculator. Okay, we are going to click this to this part where with it add implement methods, so that will automatically create the bodies of the functions that we are forced to implement. For that is an interface for all the functions that I declare in this interface. In this class that I implement that interface, I must create implementation and the body of all the functions that I have declared in my interface. That is this, okay? They are already here. We will generate the body of the sum, that is num1 plus num2. And so for each function, logically subtract it because we are only going to subtract multiplication. We will create a multiplication. Multiply the two numbers and the division because only diagonal. We already have a component called a calculator. We have an interface and its implementation. Okay? Well, now we are going to see what is a constructor. This is a constructor. Very important interfaces cannot have constructors, only classes. How will I define a constructor? I put the public access modifier and give the class name exactly the same. Remember that in Java it is all access modifier, return type, and name. In this case, as it is constructor, the difference of a function in this case. As soon as a return is placed, our builders are defined and always put public, and then the name of the class is given. Okay. It can be put public or I can be put like this. Okay. We will usually find builders that are defined as well or with the word public. What happens to classes that do not have a constructor defined that are like this? Automatically Java creates a default constructor. Okay? In all Java classes, all classes by default we have not defined a constructor, have a constructor. Okay? Very well. In that constructor, we see that you can also receive parameters as we know it. Through the parentheses, the parameters, then we can receive the parameters here. We also put here the same parameters we want, and we can simply do several operations. We will only do the operation of the sum. Then we will tell it to do the sum of these two numbers. They send us to the builder, and here we will tell it to do the review. Okay, there is. When you run our constructor, must add and must to print on the console the sum and division of the numbers that were sent to this builder. Okay, and we can have many builders. Okay, let's see here that it cannot be defined with the same parameter, but if we can have constructors that are defined with different parameters. For example, This one just receives a parameters. It receives two parameters. Okay. So here, for example, we are going to make the sum of the number that they sent us, and now we are going to put it to add 100 and divide the number 1 that it sent us. We are going to ask it to divide it between 2. Okay, very well. And we can define and builders. Well, we are going to return to our class called principal. Remember that from here we can have to invoke all the classes, and one is invoked to another, and so on, and then we'll define a type of calculating object. We will create a calculator type is equal to new. Remember we have to always new instance, but now it will be IMPL calculator. Notice, in this case calculator is an interface. Okay, why does a mistake mark me here? We are going to correct this mistake first. Here we are also going to see what is an input. Well, because we need to import the class, because we're importing it only what it to import. I put a space control here, and I already import the class. I always import them always. They always go after the package. Okay, always. And before the class declaration. Why does the class of the calculating interface imported? Also here the calculator implementation class was imported. Why? Because these classes, these interfaces is not within the same package. Within this package, yes, we are going to give it a package of 5 package, so that only to accommodate the package within this package, which is only the main class. Are these classes already in another package? What does it mean? They are already in the package course 1.cmps are already in a different package. We'll see they are already in this package, so it is necessary that from here I have to import this class or interface in this class. Okay, now what I am doing here, we are going to put here a tree. I am telling it the type that is calculator type, the name of my object equal to new IMPL calculator. Why? I cannot tell it a new calculator. Interfaces cannot be instantiated. Interfaces cannot be initialized. Why? Because it does not have a constructor. For that is the constructor. For what is a constructor? Let's see here the following interfaces that give any constructor. They can be instantiated. Only they are to declare within their functions that later we have to implement. Okay. Well, then for the reason here, I'm not instantiating calculator, but I am PL calculator. Why here does not make me a mistake? Because automatically I am PL calculator becomes calculator. It's a kind of inheritance. What you do here, automatically this class becomes a calculator type. So here I can tell it the type that is this calculator, but as my implementation, I implement this interface automatically. This can be converted into this cast is done. This is called cast, and so when I do this, does not make me any mistakes. Now, well, what is a constructor? Let's see if we realize the constructor is called just like this class. We are going to give control. We are going to press and hold the control button. Let's see here. We get here over control, and we will go to see the declaration. The declaration of the builder sent us to this builder did not send us this. He sent us to this. Why? Because here I am sending him to call y, because nothing else I send parameter. What happened if I send to? Yes, we are going to see which one we are going to call, because again we are going to see we are going to save. We are going to see which one is calling this constructor and sends to call this one that already has two parameters. Yes? So how do I know which constructor to execute for the parameters that I am sending it? This constructor sends two parameters to the one that sends it. Yes? And from different classes you can send to execute any constructor that you want through those of the parameters that are needed. Yes? Well, I already created the instance, and we're going to run our class to see what it does. Let's see. Number 100, that is this. And then here only what we did is create an object called line of calculation type. We already saw that is the same type that is in iterans. And here we send to execute a constructor, and we see constructor prints it in console at 2 point is this, yes, and then print 10, which is a sum of the two numbers that we send, which I did. We sent 3 and 7. Then it receives here the number 13. It receives the number 7, and it turns out to call the function called sum. We will see it some function. How do I go to implementation, the declaration? I put myself on top of it. I put the control button of my control keypad first, and I see how the operation invokes the sum method, and I send it the same parameters that it receives here. I send it to it. It receives it here, and it returns me. This tells me that a float will return to me. That with this I say it return. That float I return the sum of num1. I receive here plus num2 that it receives here, and that is why I always had to space 10 points. And then we continue here, print division 2 points, and now send to execute the division function, and the same, but now this is a division, okay, and that's it gives this result, okay. Alright, now what happens if I want to make a subtraction here from the line component of the calculator? And this is, well, now I say subtraction point calculator, and I send here the numbers that I want to subtract. Will subtract 10 let's subtract me 5. Okay, it should return me the same plus a subtraction. Let's see how it's going to run. There is 10, 5 gives me 5. Here's a subtraction. Okay, but we already saw what the interfaces are, and we saw what the builders are. We are going to see very important control structures in Java. Okay, we are going to execute here our. We are going to run here in our main class. We are going to create a public method of flame nothing. Comes back, the X modifier is public, nothing comes back. It's public, nothing is going back. Let's imagine we have a problem. Which is the problem? That we need to program a system that of what the client is saving in the bank, that is adding it, and the client has an amount as far as it says, you know what, until I reach this amount, send me another to my cell phone, etc. We will assume that we are going to correct that problem. We will see something very simple. Then let's imagine that the client has to raise 100 pesos, and it's our investing to put his account 90 pesos. We will make, let's assume that scenario. Then let's create a function here that is going to be called account management. An example, okay? Here we're going to use and implement all the control structures, okay? Let's start with one called while, which means while not while is implying we will assume here that we are going to save in this variable of wall type. We're going to save the savings. The saving is what the client has up to now in his account. That is what he has put are only 90 pesos. Okay, and we go here in this function. We are going to create the same calculator type object. This object has nothing to do with this. Remember that there's nothing else lives within this function, and this object is the same as nothing else lives within this function. Okay, then we create an object of calculator type. There the builder knows that it does nothing, just prints a print assume here. Okay, and we're going to tell it here. We'll calculating point assume. We're going to send it the two numbers that it has to add. Yes, we're going to put here an accountant to simulate what he is counting, while adding we're going to add the savings that the counter already has more. Here we're going to put more. With that more, with that more, we are going to tell the counter to be increased by 1 in 1. Okay, then start with 90 more 1. Yes. Be less than 100. Yes. Then it will print on your screen. System dot out dot print line. Let's say save more, right? An example here, we can put the code we need according to our needs, right? And so a while is executed we put a while, we open a parentheses, and here we put the condition. There are several operators. This is the minor, that is the greatest, that is the same as the minor equal to what greater equal to what different than. Okay, you have to study the types of operators that exist in Java. Okay, also the control structures to make this clearer. Well, from this command we also now we're going to use an if it reaches here, if calculator find some savings, here we already take the more. Yes, if it is equal to 100, we are going to put here your sum of 100 is exact. Example, and we will use an else, otherwise. Yes, otherwise if it is not 100, so use an else alone. We can use an else alone, but if we want to put in an else, it's done that way, otherwise. Yes. Otherwise your sum is, and we're going to put the sum here. Okay, well, this is an if else. Now there is another one called for. It is declared, so for open parentheses we declare here the start counter is an int I, will start at 0 and less forgiveness here. Yes, we will repeat the process. Equal in the savings is 90. We realize that we no longer declare variable because we already declare his integer only. We are resilient the value of 90. Here too, the variable savings. Okay, then it is equal to savings to the counter start from 90. I is less than 100. I more. Automatically this will increase the variable I without the need for how we did here in the while we're increasing a count, and now we have declare outside. Okay, then we are going to tell it well, whatever happens we are going to save you more. We're going to put you here the 4 to make difference of the white, the while. Okay, And so a for declare only serves to interact while the conditions here are met. Okay. Apart from the while is the do while. Do this. What is here? Yes. Save more friend. We are going to put it like this, and then we put the condition. Do this while this happens. Okay. Here is the while. Here is the do while. We are going to put it here again. The saving is equal to 90. That throw would here it is no longer here. We're going to put saving is equal to 90. The result already. So that it start again in 90. Here it is necessary to put it while calculator. We are going to see here why this mistake marks us. While calculator some savings is less than 100. Pardon, sorry. Forgiveness here in the well, it goes like this. One just puts one on this and nothing else puts this. Okay. Well, there is the while. This is how I do it while is declared. Doing this as long as this is accomplished. Okay, we will now generate a switch. We're going to put here this saving equal is 90. Well, here we are not going to put the saving variable direct. We are going to put savings here, so it's declared that reserve watch switch is opened. We open parentheses. Here we put the type of data that we are going to validate within the switch. The switch also serves to validate as well as the if. Okay, and inside the switch we must put cases. Yes, if it is equal to 100 we do something. Sorry, here it is done. That why the radius, if it is 100 we do this, and after this we always have to put a break. Why? Because if they do not continue evaluation, the cases that come and we put a default. An example. we're going to put here is 100. We're going to put here what we suppose that we're 99, here that we're 5, an example. Yes, in the default we do not put a break because it is the now. If it is the last one that enters, we will always enter if we do not put a break. Here in this cases, for example, if we leave them like this, everyone will continue to validate the cases, and it in the end they will always enter the default, but it would not want to enter the default. We leave a break. Okay, let's put it here. You saved 100, an example, nothing else, right? You saved 99. You saved 5. Let's leave in that way. Save more friend. Okay, this is how control structures are defined in this way. A while is defined, and here goes a condition. Yes, if the else condition goes the same in else, and nothing else, only the set and the keys are opened. Okay, if else is the center here, otherwise enter here. Okay, the for is a cycle, so that it is doing all this while condition is fulfilled, while I is less than 100, and we start here from savings, that is 90. Okay, the while doing this as long as the condition continues to meet. Okay, the switch, we put the type of data that we are going to validate. We make the cases and put if saving is worth 100 to 10 to these 2 points, open the keys, and this is done. Okay, and the breaks are so that we do not let it arrive here in the default. We will finally create in this control structure and nested if else. If we're going to make already very superficial operations here. If 1 is equal to 2, yes, if 1 is equal to 2, we are going to put here, this is a mistake, right? Otherwise, if 1 is the same, if 1 is greater than 2, we are going to put it here. This is another mistake, isn't it? That is impossible for 1 to be greater than 2, for example. And so we'll be isolating, or else otherwise if be last 1, we can put an else. Yes, otherwise if 1 is greater than 1, this is another mistake. More, otherwise one, we're going to put an example. 1 is equal to 1, and in this way we declare if nested will be. Well, this is all for this Java basic course. We have seen interfaces, constructors. A class is declared as a constructor is declared. Any doubt of comment that you have, any suggestion, if you want, you can do it through the comments, or you can send us a comment, an email to which you already know, that is yahoo.com.mx. Please write to us there, and we will really answer any questions, suggestions, comments, or questions that you have. Thank you. That's all.